So today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about numbered sports cards and what I see going horribly wrong for the long term of the sports card market, and this being a big problem. So without further ado, we're going to unpack this issue that I am seeing. And of course, as you guys know, there's so many different releases in sports cards nowadays. There's so many different cards getting released from every set. If we pull up the 2022-23 Prism Basketball Checklist, we can see all of the different parallels that they have released. As you guys can see, it goes all the way from all these that are unnumbered. So these are considered the more common cards. Of course, some like the Tiger Stripe Prisms and the White Sparkles, these are super short printed, so these may not be the more common cards, but you can look to the silvers, of course the base, the greens nowadays, the blue waves. A lot of these are, fast breaks. They're a little bit more common, but then you look down to the numbered cards that are supposed to be incredibly limited, sought after, and you see a list of probably close to 20, I'm not going to exactly count, but that looks to be more than 20 different numbered parallels from one set. And this concerns me quite a lot, to be honest, because we are losing a lot of value in a lot of these cards because of the sheer number of limited quote-unquote numbered cards there are, because numbered cards are special until they become common. Now, of course, you're going to see massive premiums for nebulas, blacks, of course, gold prisms are going to see incredible premiums, even mojo prisms. There's some that are going to hold incredible premium at all times. These are ones, for example, black gold, nebula, blacks, golds. These are cards that I personally would invest in. These are cards that I know no matter what are going to be the most sought after from the set, and they're going to see the most demand. We can see really high sales for a lot of gold prism cards, but when it comes to, for example, the more common cards of these, we can look to the top, the red prisms. We can look at someone like Tyrese Halliburton. And this guy is one of the hottest players in the league. He's a young, up-and-coming star. His cards are supposed to skyrocket, and they have skyrocketed across the board. But if you look at his out of 299 PSA 10 Pop 50, this card is still only around a $400 to $500 card. There are a lot of sales under $400 for this card that is supposed to be a limited numbered prism card in a PSA 10 of one of the hottest young stars, and you're still seeing a lot of resistance. This card hasn't really skyrocketed. Yes, it has gone up some, but in fact, it has not really performed like most of his other cards have. If you look at Tyrese Halliburton's market from November of 2022 to today, you're seeing his red prism pretty much stay the same price. And if you look to his cards that more people are going after nowadays, for example, his National Treasures, you can see a massive price increase. You can see this card right here was a $5,000 card last year around that time where I was comping out the red prism. You can see it's nearly doubled in price for his National Treasures. So in the same amount of time that his National Treasures, which is actually a very limited set, you can see by the pop counts here, there's an out of 99 for the true National Treasures. There's an out of 99. Of course, there's the jersey numbered one. There's some FOTLs. There's many different parallels, you could say, but nowhere close to the amount of prism, nowhere close to the, number of parallels, and they're also a lot more limited. There's no out of 299 true NT, so that's what keeps his National Treasures kind of like the baseline of what you want to invest in, and you can see them appreciate in price. Even from his PSA 8, you can see this card went from 3,500 last year, 3,000 last year, to close to 6,000 this year. So you're seeing a lot of increases in his National Treasures. And as we know, when we go back to the red prisms, this is across the board for so many different players. When you go back to the red prisms, they have not really done much, including, a lot of other parallels you can see on here that are quote unquote numbered, like Purple Ice. If you look at a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is one of the hottest young players in the league, you look at his Purple Ice, which is supposed to be one of the most limited, sought after, numbered prisms as they were in 2020, you can see that a PSA 9 is only around a $400 card for all Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has done, and for his NTs, close to 3xing in price. You're hardly seeing any growth in these numbered cards. So this is definitely a big problem, and I'm going to be also breaking down some other big issues. For example, not only, if you look back to 2012, there was a gold prism, which was the lowest number, so there was none of these. There was a gold prism for 2012 prism, first year prism. There was a gold prism, there was a green prism that was extremely limited, and then you had a silver prism, and then you had a base prism. So these were kind of just like the parallels that you got, and that's why prism, if you look back to 2012, holds such a premium. Even if you look at guys like Curry's 2012 prism silvers, this is not even his rookie year, but you can see they still hold great value because of, the low pop counts and them actually being hard to come by. Whereas if you look at, of course, you have the first year premium, but if you look at like a Curry 2021 Prism Silver, like nobody really cares about it, and the pop counts are way too, it's not even the pop count, it's just the amount of parallels. A lot of people get stuck up on the pop count, where it's like, if you look at a Shai Gilgeous Red Prism, you can say, oh my god, it's such a limited card, there's only 52 PSA 10s, it's such a limited card, but then what really is the caveat here is the amount of different parallels you have. There could be 52 PSA 10s of this, but for investors who are looking to invest in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you have all of these different options, and on top of that, you have, of course, optics, selects, you have mosaics, a lot of different parallels to, a lot of different brands that you could also invest in. If you look at Shai's market, it's very diluted, and you're seeing this, it's gotten worse since 2018, so this isn't even the worst of it, because if you look at, a guy like Chet who's coming out, you're going to have a million different brands, a million different parallels, a million different, everything for his cards, and on top of that, the pop counts are going up. And so it's definitely a kind of time where I would say be careful in what you're investing in. You're seeing the cards that you're seeing go up are going to be flawless cards, National Treasures cards, actual limited cards that a true flawless Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you're going to see price increases. As you guys can see right here, that's a close to 50% increase because, it is an actual limited set. It's a sought after set. It's got something unique, of course, the auto. So these are things you really have to think about when investing in young players. I see a lot of people picking the right players, but choosing the wrong cards. If you pick Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as a good investment, and you invested in his red prisms, even though it's a numbered card that's a pop 52, you didn't see a price increase. Whereas if you invested in, a National Treasures, you're going to see his prices increase. Now, I understand there's going to be a lot of people in the comment section that's saying, I can't afford a National Treasures, I can't afford a gold prism, what are some cards that I could go towards? And I would say it is very important to do proper research on what sets you're going to invest in. We saw Select have a big rise and a big fall, because of the amount of parallels that they were releasing. And I think we're starting to see that with Prism, and I know it's scary to say it, and I don't want to put it out there on the internet like I'm 100% sure, but this is the trend that I'm seeing, is that Prism is headed the way Select is headed, where it's going down. There's too many parallels, there's too many cards to choose from, to where it loses its demand. It loses its kind of like power that made it powerful in the first place, where it's like limited. A lot of investors want to go towards it. They're seeing good price increases, and you're not seeing price increases in Prism cards. And that is why investors are not looking towards Prism cards anymore. They're looking towards flawless, immaculate National Treasures. Now, if you obviously can't afford, a National Treasures or a Red Prism, you know, an immaculate or a flawless or a national treasures, or one of those gold prisms that I talked about, there's other options you could invest in younger players. If you pick, you know, certain immaculate cards that are still very limited and people respect immaculate, but it's not as pricey as flawless or national treasures, that is a good option. There's many other good options that you can go towards that, you know, is not going to break the bank, but it's also, you know, going to be a limited card that you can feel comfortable in. You know, you're seeing price increases in lower pop cards like, you know, immaculate cards, even though they are not quite as, you know, sought after as flawless and national treasures, not quite as expensive as flawless and national treasures. You can see price increases in immaculate in different brands, but I personally would stay away from Prism, just because of the amount of parallels. I would stay away from Optic Select, Prism, and Mosaic as of now. I know it's a hot take. Not everyone has to agree with me. And as I said, there's still some parallels I still go after. Mojos are going to be iconic. Gold Prisms are going to be iconic. Black Gold Prisms are going to be iconic. Nebulas and Blacks are going to be iconic. But the higher up stuff, I would personally stay away from. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you disagree, let me know why. I'm obviously open to making this comment section more of a discussion board. I'm out here putting out an opinion and wanting you guys to, you know, let me know what you guys think about it. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'm out. Peace.